Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new, my name is Marissa, also known as Homemaking with Marissa. Today's video is going to be areas that I spend money versus areas that I opt to save money. I have made several videos on my channel talking about personal finance, and these are actually the videos that people seem to get the most upset about. When I first started my channel, I had made the decision that I wasn't going to make any more financial videos. The more I thought about it, this is such an important topic. This is probably the most important thing that I talk about on my channel. Therefore, I'm going to share my opinions and continue to try to encourage people to be responsible with their money. If you're new to my channel and haven't done so already, you can subscribe by hitting the red subscribe button down below. I would love if you would join my little YouTube community. I post at least 2 videos every week, and they are always related to homemaking. Just different little tips and tricks to hopefully make your life a little bit easier. We're gonna start with 5 areas that I save money. The first area is on cable. We do not have cable television in my house, and when people hear that, they are typically shocked that we don't have cable. We canceled cable, I think 5 years ago when we were in the process of getting out of debt, and have just not opted to add it back as an expense. It is pricey to have cable television. You're spending hundreds of dollars, and we found that more often than not, we were just kind of browsing through the channels trying to find something to watch, and it was background noise. We didn't spend a bunch of time sitting down and watching television. We had originally said that when we got out of debt and we had become completely debt-free outside of our mortgage, that cable was an expense that we would allow ourselves to add back in. However, after going a couple of years without cable, we have just never made the decision to add it back in. Number 2 is expensive cell phone plans. Cell phone plans can really add up when you add in the cost of leasing cell phones, when you add in unlimited this and unlimited that. I have talked to people that say that they're spending in excess of $200 per month per line for their cell phones. We shopped around, we found the most competitive rate for our cell phones, and we don't have unlimited data. Now, this is an area that we have never gone over on our data, but we do have to be mindful of it. My husband travels for work and has to be intentional about making sure that he is using Wi-Fi when he's outside of the home, and particularly when we are at home, we make sure that we are always on Wi-Fi so that we don't go over on our allotted amount of data. If you have not recently reviewed what you're paying for your cell phone, shopped around to see if you would get a better deal, would encourage you to do that. And if you've got a bunch of extras on your cell phone plan that you don't actually need, contact your cell phone company and see if you could get a reduction in your price by removing those unnecessary items. Number 3 is a car payment. We do not have car payments in my house. And I have mentioned before, but I have worked in the finance industry my entire adult life, and car payments is something that people will come up with any and all excuses of why they have to have a car payment. The number of times that I have been told that it is not safe to drive a car that's not new, or that they don't want to worry about having car repair bills, or that they need to have all of the updated features that come in newer cars. It just seems like a series of excuses of how you're justifying why you need to have a car payment. I drive a car that is 11 years old. I don't find myself stranded on the side of the road. At no point do I feel like it is unsafe to be transporting myself and or my family in that vehicle. And the number of expenses that we accrue in a year for maintenance and or repairs on our vehicle come nowhere close to equating to what a car payment would be. I would encourage you to look at how much you're spending every single year in your car payment and compare that to what it would cost for just standard maintenance on a vehicle. and weigh whether or not you're paying that car payment because you just want to drive a shiny, bright new car, or if it really is because it's the most cost-effective option for you. Number 4 is expensive home decor. I like to decorate my house. I decorate my house every season, but I have 3 children and they break things and they ruin things and they spill things and they stain items, and at this stage in my life, I'm just not willing to spend a bunch of money on home decor. My items typically come from Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, or Target. Not to say that you couldn't find items that are pricey in those places, but that's kind of the budget at which this stage of life I am willing to put out money for home decor. Now, as my children grow and as they move out of the house, this will be an area that I foresee shifting and me putting more money into it. But for now, this is an area that we are focused on saving versus spending money. Number 5 is our health insurance plan. I have compared the health insurance plans with my husband's employer and looked at what is the deductible versus the premium versus the max out of pocket that we would pay in any given year. And I factor between the premiums, the deductible, and the max out of pocket, worst case scenario, which plan are we going to be out the most amount of money? In our particular situation, and you'll want to review this with your health insurance provider, but in our particular situation, it makes more sense for us to go with what is considered the lowest plan with my husband's employer. We pay the least amount of premiums, we have the highest deductible. However, when you factor the total max out of pocket and the fact that any money that we put into a health savings account, we get a tax write-off on, it makes the most sense for us financially to have the quote unquote worst plan with his employer. If this is a topic that you would like me to go into further detail on, I would be happy to make a separate video just talking about health insurance plans and health savings accounts. If that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and leave a comment down below so I know that that's a video you'd like me to make in the future. Now I'm going to talk about the areas that I opt to spend more money. The first area is on organic food. Now, I have heard it said that people think that organic food is just an additional sticker that they put on your packaging of your food items to charge you more money. And while I can appreciate that that is some people's opinion, for me, I see a value in buying organic food for my family. A lot of my grocery hauls include organic meat, organic produce, and organic dairy items. I will buy organic snacks for my kids, and I also try to bake things and make them from scratch at home when time allows. Buying organic food is something that is significantly more expensive, but for me, it is an area that I opt to spend more money within my personal budget. Number 2 is experience for my kids. It is important to me that when my children are given the opportunity to have life experiences, that we are able to do that for them. We have our kids in a school that has the option of doing different programs where they can travel abroad, and with my 16-year-old, we have opted in to those programs. So he has gone to, I think, 6 different countries with his school and been able to experience different cultures. We live in Oregon within the United States. It is important to me that my children know that the world is bigger than just the tiny state within the US that we live. And the only way that they're really going to grasp that is if they experience different opportunities and different cultures. So when it is possible, I like to be able to say yes to things like that and provide that experience for my children. I look at it that by the time we pay for them to do these trips, really it's the cost of what we would have spent on cable. Number 3 is books. I like to read. I like to read in bed at night, but I do not like using any sort of e-reader. I think that I spend plenty of time looking at technology throughout the day that when I'm trying to relax at night, I just prefer a paper book. And while I know that this is not the most cost-effective way to do it, I like to buy books so that if it's something that I want to reread, I can keep it. And I like to buy paper books versus digital copies. Now, I'm fully well aware this is not, I could check them out from the library, or I could buy some sort of e-reader and get them at a more affordable rate. For me personally, I just like holding a book, flipping the pages. If I get to the end of the book and it's not something that I'm going to reread, then I will happily donate that book or pass it on to someone else. If it is something that I want to reread, I would like to be able to save it and read it again in the future. Number 4 is outerwear. I have purchased plenty of pieces of outerwear for myself and for my children that were inexpensive, and I find that they just don't hold up as well as higher quality outerwear. I've discussed in other videos that I do buy jackets that are fairly expensive for my kids, but I have 3 boys, so I will buy it for the oldest and pass it down to the younger children. When I have purchased outerwear at a less expensive price point, I've found that it does not make it through 3 children playing outside, running around, getting them dirty, going through the wash cycle multiple times. So for me, it is overall a better investment for me to spend more money on outerwear. Now, when it comes to outerwear for my husband and I, this is something that we're potentially going to have for a lifetime. If it is a nice high quality jacket, for us, it is worthwhile to spend a little bit more on an item that will last longer. Number 5 is retirement savings. There is nothing, I repeat, nothing fun about saving money for retirement. When you're in your 20s, I'm in my 30s, it's still not fun to save for retirement. I don't know that at any point, 40s, 50s, 60s, I will ever think that it is fun to save money for retirement. However, I know that my future self will be so happy that I started saving for retirement when I was in my 20s. Having started saving in my 20s is going to vastly change my lifestyle when I hit retirement age. I will be able to live a more comfortable life in retirement because I made that sacrifice starting in my 20s and opted to save money and save a considerable amount of money every single month towards retirement instead of just getting my paycheck, spending it all, and figuring that I'll worry about retirement later. If you take anything away from this video, it is to start saving for retirement now. It doesn't matter what age you are. If you are not currently saving for retirement, or if you're not saving enough for retirement, talk to a financial advisor. Have somebody take a look at how much you should be saving and see if you are on track to be living a comfortable life in retirement. It breaks my heart to see how many people work their entire life, go to retirement, and realize that they are not in as good a shape as they had thought, and they are not going to be able to live the lifestyle that they had envisioned for themselves in their retirement years. If you found this video helpful and haven't done so already, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face here. I will list an entire playlist full of financial videos for you here, as well as a video that YouTube thinks you would enjoy here. I hope you are all staying happy and healthy. Bye.